We recognize that for you and for us, this was already a stress-inducing news cycle. You've got the video of Iryna Zarutzka on the Charlotte light rail. Couple that with yesterday's shocking assassination of Charlie Kirk, and then, of course, today's remembrance of September the 11th. It's a lot to take in, and that's why we are here now to talk about it. Joining us, our good friend, Queen City News, our mental health expert, Dr. Charryse Johnson. Charryse, we were just saying we would love to have a different topic. But this is why we bring you in, because we clearly are struggling with our emotions, with how to process emotions. We snap off, we pop off, we sometimes remain silent. And I want to talk about all that, because this morning we're hurting, we're angry. I'm angry. I'm angry as a dad. I'm angry as a citizen. I don't even know how to process this. And so where do we start with all of this going on? But I mean, these images behind us, why do we have to talk about this?
We need to continue to talk about it because it's a way to help everyone process. What is so key is exactly what you're doing is acknowledging you're angry. You're upset as a father, as a person, because when we watch things like this constantly happen, it creates a level of fear and a level of uncertainty that we want to keep an eye on.
I mean, we have had a divided country since the beginning, let's be honest, right? I mean, we talk about unity. It is almost like a utopia. I wish it was that. It's not. How do we live with one another when we don't all get along? Because it's always going to be that way.
Well, it's important that we allow each other to live, even though we don't get along. And it sounds funny, but that's part of our issue, right? Is we're watching things happen that show that we have zero tolerance for things that are outside of what we need. But it's important for us to be very mindful of when we see ourselves, as you said earlier, kind of popping off and getting out of pocket, and when we might need to pull back and calm ourselves down because everything is overwhelming.
Well, I mean, I even noticed yesterday, because this was, I felt it brewing inside me, boiling up, and like taking a 2-liter and shaking it, and at some point you got to take that lid off. But I felt myself, even with things that had nothing to do with these images, I was short, I was snappy, I wasn't able to think clearly, and that doesn't justify anyone's behavior that could be negative or violent. But what happens if you got so many people that on one end are being too verbal and abusive online, like almost retaliatory language. But then you've got those that are doing nothing, they stay bottled up.
Well, both,
the middle.
Both ends of the spectrum are not ideal. So you want to pay attention. Are you noticing that you're extremely quiet and you're withdrawn and you're isolated? Are you noticing that you are irritable and short? And either way, the middle ground is stop, pull back, check in, and really ask yourself, what is really going on for me? That issue that I just went crazy over isn't really a big deal. What's bothering me? So that might mean some temporary time away, journal, connect with people, do things that also are outside of all of this to remind yourself that even though this is going on, there are still great things that are happening around you.
Oh, that's a great thought. Okay, I want to get back. This is one of the things that bothers me. When you say think about what you're dealing with emotionally, a lot of people are justifying their feelings and emotions, and this is what's scaring me. So I woke up this morning to these dark jokes and threats that are online. This is what I can't stand. Quote, you should declare the left in this country. They're in obvious open rebellion against the U.S. Quote, it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. Quote, he got what he deserved. He was pushing hate speech. This is all in reference to obviously Charlie Kirk's assassination yesterday. So now people are fueling the fire online.
And so one of the best things that we can all do is to decide how much of that can we handle, how much of that can we tolerate. And if we know that reading people talk about hate speech and then continuing to pour more hate is going to impact us, then we have to pull away and remind ourselves that one of our primary issues with all of this is that we're being inundated around it. You know, if we think of the video in the light rail, part of what escalated it is that we're continuing to watch it on replay. So it's still our responsibility to pull away and to know when it's too much.
The governor of Utah, Spencer Cox, yesterday, this one really got me. He goes, if anyone within the sound of my voice celebrated even for a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere. Wow. I've never heard it put like that, but you know there are people, no matter who loses their life in whatever situation, not just Charlie Kirk, where there are people out there going, I'm kind of glad this happened.
Yes, and that's an unfortunate dynamic. We should never be excited about someone losing their life. At the end of the day, our lives are precious, even if they're the lives of people that we may disagree with. And that's a part of learning to live with each other, even though we may not all agree, is we've really lost something as a nation the moment we celebrate the loss of life. What I loved about September 11th, 24 years ago, was the fact that that was a time that at one of our worst moments, we all came together and we didn't care about who lost their life and what political party they were from. We were hurting and we pulled together and decided that the core of our nature in helping each other was more important than everything else going on.
I still remember from my grandparents and even my parents, if you don't have anything nice to say, just don't say anything, right?
Yeah.
And when you look at these images behind us, and we do remember on 9/11, what is your message of hope? Because people look out there going, I can't find it.
Yeah. The biggest message of hope that I always love to share is that the greatest impact that we have is on ourselves and within our home. That's what we have the most ability to choose and to change. So if we want things to be different, we want to make sure we're having those conversations with our partners, with our spouse, with our children, and reminding ourselves that regardless of what happens outside of us, it does not have to change what's inside of us.
Oh, Charryse, thank you so much. And I do want to encourage you, or if someone you know, if you have questions and you don't know who to talk to, you don't know where to turn, whether it's serious or just emotions you don't know how to regulate, 988, always 24/7. You can call that for help at any time. And there's nothing wrong with getting help at all. Charryse, thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All right, it is 8:22 right now. You're watching Queen City News. We'll be back.
Queen City News Plus. Just search Queen City News on your smart TV's app store.